And now I can record indefinitely because there's no more concern with the account. Now I've got the full account thing. So, welcome to the Dice Are Good Bad Storytellers. I am your DM for the day, Jacob Clarkson. I am joined by Matt playing Kyle and Josh playing Leopold. And we will be joined later, hopefully, by Maddie playing Kubo. But for now, we're going to start in this scene kind of right after the events of our last ambush experience. That was pretty intense. And this is kind of all resolving now. A lot of the butlers have shown out of the house carrying very intense armaments, different levels of, magically charged wands and weapons and guns. And they are now patrolling the outside. And so security has tightened down now on the mansion and the manor home. Kubo is being revived, but is still mid being revived. And we're going to start. Actually, I'll roll a die just to give some. Well, no, let's start right with Kyle because I want Kubo to be able to see what's going on with Leopold, kind of in the group. So yeah, Kyle, you're here. You saw Peregrine mark Leopold as you've been taking away. Whatever you'd like to do.
Yeah, so I think specifically the last thing that I did was looting and investigating the corpse when I got a nat 20 on it.
Yeah.
A lot of pretty usable information. So I probably begin asking. So Peregrine had confirmed that he had put some sort of tracker on him, and I would ask how, kind of musing to myself, thinking about the potential ramifications of what we're dealing with here. I'd ask if, what direction they're heading, and does it seem like they're going out of town, or are they staying inside like the city walls?
It looks like they are already in town. They're still in town. This is kind of like on the richer suburb of the city, but they are traveling deeper into the city.
Okay.
I mean, you would just kind of know that you weren't able to like visually track them leaving, but just I am going to say pretty clear insight. They're geared, yeah. You see Peregrine kind of pacing back and forth, and just like, damn it, oh my gosh, and he's just kind of pacing angrily, like, and you can kind of see some of the shadows of his prior terrifying self before he kind of became more white collar.
Yeah, I'd relay everything I learned about the body, and I'd just say to him, we are in a lot more trouble than I think we realize. It looked like they were going after you, but capturing him might actually be worse.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Now that we know what's all going on with his arm and everything, but I think they would have tried to kill me. They wouldn't have been able to, but they would have been able to kill Kubo, and so I'm glad that they stopped him, or we managed to get him secure. Do you guys know anything? Like, he was a an anti-divine activist. He used to be military, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of kick a couple of the pieces of gear that I grabbed off of him. This is high-tech stuff. I mean, I know my stuff, and I don't know how a lot of this works, especially this. I know what it is, but I have absolutely no idea how I could possibly reproduce it. And I'd bring out that Uber suicide capsule.
Yeah, he would look at that and nod. He'd just be like, okay, yep, what you're saying makes sense. It's tracking. He calls over the police chief that he's recently gotten under his bankroll, basically. I cannot find his name, and I have all my notes here.
I think it was Harlow or Hawthorne or something like that.
Harlow, I think that's right. Captain Harlow, yep. He was, Captain Harlow, get over here. We got some things to talk about. First off, he's like, you're under oath to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, magically compelled to do so. Did you have anything about this ambush, Mr. Hawthorne? Harlow. And he responds, he's just like, no, I had no idea. This is way above my pay grade. They have weapons I had never even seen before. I'm really sorry, dude. I'm just brand new to this situation. This is around when Kubo is being revived with smelling salts, and he's gotten his hit points back. And he starts to stir awake on the floor near you guys.
He's definitely just like, like just making grunts. I don't.
No, that's great. I think Ariana actually comes up and she kind of does like a gentle bow to you, Kyle, and says, because of the information you've gained, we should be able to avoid some of the worst of the political fallout, because it seems clear that they wanted to make this, pin this on us, if you would. They would make this some vague other entity that was attacking us, but it seems that now we have evidence that it is in fact anti-divine believers, which is a large thing. But frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if the newspapers weren't already printed that described this as a horrible tragedy from freakish, divine assailants rather than anti-divine assailants.
Yeah, but with them capturing him, it might actually end up being worse. When I was in Terran's Bounty, I kind of phase out a little bit. We used to run this scam. Basically, half the gang would pose as robbers and accost a wealthy merchant. Other half would rescue him and get a reward. When governments do this, when you do this on a bigger scale, it's a false flag operation. They just got someone that could potentially pull the tail of a massive divine being and set him loose in the city. They wouldn't have to fake that it was caused by divine stuff. And if they have him in custody, they can even kill him afterwards and cover their own tracks. It's imperative that we get him back as quickly as possible.
Kubo, kind of at this moment, I mean, I don't exactly know, like, if I'm imagining that Savage is still like kind of holding him up or something, kind of tries to like push out of his brother's arms, is like, okay, so then let's go right now. I'm ready. Let's go get Leo.
Peregrine has this flare of anger, and he turns around and says, wasn't it your job to watch him? Wasn't that your job to keep him safe? And then you immediately failed, isn't that right, Kyle?
You didn't charge me to keep him safe. You charged me with hiding him. We didn't have time to do that, and this happened in your grounds, under your rules of hospitality, where your guards failed.
He's fully like dropping his glamour, going like kind of abstract angel appearance. He like smashes a bush nearby him. It's like, and Ariana like takes his arm, walks him back in the house, and she comes back out. Savage is clearly more injured. Your injuries seem to be more superficial, Kubo. I hereby empower you, Kyle, as well as Kubo, to exert any energies you have in your capacity to retrieve our young Sir Leopold immediately, if possible.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mom. I'm glad you're okay.
Get her the good stuff. They get you like really solid. Like we're gonna say this is as if it's like a health long rest. They get you like very high end healing, poultices, magical stuff. We're gonna say this is like an instantaneous long rest here. So
cool.
Feel free to take that.
I think I will.
Well, we need to find out where they're going first, which means we need your dad to calm down.
Okay, I can go
Well,
talk.
he's the one that has the tracker on him.
Right. I can go talk to him.
The big well, the important thing here though, we're gonna end up attacking a place. We have to conceal the fact that you actually are divines, otherwise they might be able to spin this back on as an actual divine attack.
I do have a
We're
disguise.
gonna have to do this quiet.
Yeah, I can handle that. I can know to bring my disguise this time. I agree. Okay, I'm gonna go do that. He looks over, he sees that Savage is alright. He sees that I guess Deja is fine or Deza, and just kind of is like, cool, alright, awesome. And he kind of meanders into the house.
Okay.
Dead.
You meander into the home. Kyle, I'm going to give you the name of the soldier, the dead soldier that you that Kubo killed before. It is a Gumpton Furclaw. And he's, late 40s, kind of a retired ex-military person. And you would know immediately that this guy has connections to some very seedy bars. You'd have recognized the first name. You recognize like that this guy kind of ex-military. If you don't know the exact bar to go to, like one of three that you could go and mention his name and people would know who you're talking about.
All right.
Yeah.
Kubo, do you have any way of communicating long range with your father?
Are you asking him before he's left you? But yes, I think Kubo does. Sorry, I didn't know for a minute if you were talking to me. But yeah, Kubo can.
All right.
You're coming up with a plan, I see.
Well, one of the big things we're gonna need is to make sure that Peregrine absolutely can't be near this himself. He'd be sensed most likely if they have protections in case for like an anti-divine. I assume that there's going to be something that would be triggered by something of his metaphysical mass, so to speak, approaching. But we also need him to confirm the location of Leopold. So if you were able to communicate with him remotely, that would assist in the infiltration. Also, yeah. When he stopped moving and roughly where he is. But I'm gonna go investigate a lead here real quick before we get past closing time here.
Okay. That sounds good. Kubo will just probably meet up with you once you get back.
Would you drive yourself, or would you have a butler drive you?
I wouldn't have my own car, and I probably wouldn't necessarily want to use one that wasn't mine. So I guess I'd probably have a butler drop me, but I'd have him drop me off a good bit away from the place.
Kind of street car in.
Butler fancy car showing up in front of a seedy bar like that kind of would attract more attention than I would want.
Also, my crows are also on Kyle and Kubo now.
Gotcha.
So if you want to take the crow with you, Kyle, then go for it. But you can tell him to leave if so. Like to be like in your vicinity.
Circling pretty high above you.
Yeah, exactly.
Visual on you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. The crows.
I wouldn't interfere with that.
Okay, the crows are very blasé. They are not very. They just kind of stand around as if they are animals, kind of curious. They look around. They're clearly hearing things, but they're not like very engaged. They're just kind of looking for any threats, and they are protecting you, as Leopold said. Before we're gonna do this scene with Kubo and Peregrine, and then we're gonna have another scene and kind of tie it all together. So you walk into the house. Your father is full, not like in his half angel form, where he is kind of this abstract form of like oozing black, material and many eyes, and he's kind of hard to look at. You know, he's just kind of extremely intense. And he's like lounging on like a long bed and just like just kind of seething, breathing deeply in and out.
I think Kubo would just kind of walk in the room and like sit, like obviously as like averting their gaze because he's not trying to die, but would try to like sit on like a couch or something kind of away. And I feel like Kubo kind of just from the way that they've all been around each other and their kind of enmeshment, kind of knows maybe how to like wait in a sense, just in the right way to get Peregrine to be like okay. And so I think he's just waiting to see what his dad wants.
Yes, Kubo. I gave you a grudge, but honestly, Kubo fits better. Yes. How can I help you? What's going on?
This is a stressful moment. So I don't blame you. I was happy to kill at least one of those bastards. We'll get the rest, don't worry. But is there anything else weighing on your mind about Leo going missing, specifically relating to the fact that he can control entities such as yourself, it sounds like, and that contact in hell? Do you think that this could be sort of a connection to that? I forgot his name. It was like Bayo something.
Beelbolus, yeah. So yes, you're very right. It's a lot of those things, and the best thing that we can do is just get him back under control because I don't know what the cops are planning. That was my whole goal with getting this connection with Mr. Hawthorne, Harlow, whatever his name is. And just to, right as we're getting a foothold for them to make this big, bold move is just infuriating. The contact in hell, he's going to be fine. He's going to be good. He can keep his head down, his nose, sharp. So I'm not worried about him. They seem to be on a direct trajectory for Prison 4, which is a really bad news because it means they have really high clearance. And just so you know, there's like, a series of prisons. They're kind of all like numbered. And Prison 4 is a high security, and it's also known for where they do executions.
Oh no. Okay, yeah, so maybe when Peregrine says that, Kubo has a moment of like fear because they don't want Leo to die. I don't think anyone does, but yeah. But Kubo just nods and is like, absolutely understood. Father, is there any chance that you kind of like placed a sort of spell to figure out his location? Could you transmit, like mute it to me, in order for this, I guess, operation to go well? Kyle and I were talking, and we know that I'll probably have to hide a lot of my powers and senses to sneak in or be around there to avoid alerting them. But if there's a chance that maybe if you could just tell me with the channel divinity, I think is what Kubo's thinking. Kind of like do that. I could just hone in without needing to let you know until the mission is completed, sort of a thing. And that way you and Mom can kind of, I guess, get stuff back under control here. Maybe even make it look like, I'm sure Mom's already talked with you about this, or will, but like make it look maybe even just like we were attacked out of nowhere, which we all seem pretty beat up. But we could still try to
give me your hand, kid. Give me your hand.
He does.
He draws like several dots with several elliptical circles around them on your hand with like his own like strange black liquid that just seems to be producing from him. And you can feel the spell effect kind of go from him to you, and you know where he is at on this plane, so you can track Leopold now.
Awesome. Kubo will thank his dad, and then also just real quick, even though his dad's in like this giant form, he's gonna try to give his dad a hug.
Yeah, you give him a hug. He's like, that's great. That's great. He's trying to calm down. He goes, it's all going to be good. It's all going to be good. As you're on the way out, he's kind of like, hey, Kubo, the contact down in hell. I don't make a big deal about this because it's important for you guys to kind of live mortal lives and kind of have that. It's feral. Farrell is our contact. He's in hell. He's keeping an eye on things. And that's why we also leave the chair open for him. It's not just ceremonial. So don't stress about it too much. Just
Does anyone else know about this?
I mean, Ariana does. Farrell or Savage doesn't really, because he doesn't really seem to care very much. But I can tell it's bugging you. And we can talk about this more later. I know this is a crisis moment. I just don't want you worrying about that.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Dad. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go get ready. Do good. But Kubo's also trying not to show the fact that he is absolutely, probably low-key, really pissed about this. Absolutely, just absolutely pissed.
Absolutely pissed. Wow. Okay.
Maybe, I think so. I don't know. It's a bunch of emotions.
Yeah, this is a very intense, lots of things happening at once moment. Okay, so you guys start to coordinate how you're going to move and chase him down. Leopold, you wake up for the second time in this 3-session campaign with a bag over your head. And you can feel yourself that you're tied down a little more securely than last time. Your arms are actually like latched down onto some cool steel-like material, and you can feel not a scalpel, but like a dental tool is the best way to describe it, like a metal implement being held against your arm, where the tattoos are, and you can feel that there are no bandages on your tattooed arm.
Can I see? Is my arm fine? Is there scarring, bleeding? Am I penetrated?
So you're not able to see, but you don't feel any pain. You actually feel like any damage you took from those rubber bullets. You feel like aching there, but you can tell that some effort has been made to heal you. And you can kind of hear like the voice of a guy kind of go, like just like a foot to the side of you on where your arm is being touched.
I'm gonna stay quiet for a couple of seconds and see if I hear anyone else in the room.
Yeah, as you're being quiet, you don't hear any other. Roll me a perception check, but you can do this with disadvantage because as you're waking up, you can hear two frankly bird-like voices in your head, but like, where the hell is that guy? He just ran away. He calls us up here to do a job and he disappears. What the hell? Shut up. Like people arguing basically in your head. And so yeah, roll that perception check. Tell me what you get.
I'm flying. Okay. Wow. 13.
13. Okay. You can tell that there's probably more than one person in this room with you, but not more than like 3.
Okay.
Is he awake? Hello?
Hello.
Are you speaking mentally?
Is it louder in my head, or do I hear a direction when I hear those voices?
Well, you guys can know where you're on the same plane, right?
Oh, okay. So I know that these are my creatures. Okay.
Yes, you do.
Okay. I didn't know if it was like a play on thing going on. Okay. So yes, I'm gonna be completely in my head saying, I'm awake. Are you with the others?
Yeah, man. Look, you called us up. Like we have work to do and like stuff to do in hell, and you kind of called us up out of nowhere. How do we get back there? How do we fix this?
Are they safe?
Yeah, I mean they're all alive. One of them walked into a really seedy looking bar, but I'm keeping an eye out.
Okay, can you proceed doing so?
Yeah, man, but come on, we don't got all day. Like, how do we? You can tell this is a demon Arashi, and you have a lot of education on this. They are an Ouroboros style creature, so they are like many. They are like legion. There are millions of them, kind of a thing. But you've taken 2 of them and like sucked them off and made them your tool, and so they're kind of stressed out.
If they're safe, okay. Well, I'm not safe. Fine,
You're not safe.
fine. It's fine. And
Hey,
I
I mean, if
will.
you die, we go home, right?
That's not what I want. You know what? It's fine. I will release a spell, sending them back to their plane.
You're gonna do
And
that?
yes, and
Really?
these birds will go poof poof back to where
Okay.
they belong.
Okay,
That would be
you
nice of them.
really okay. You do so. The bird disappears. Kubo, as you're driving to meet up with uh Kyle, the bird just into like black soot and smoke.
There is a moment where Kubo has to kind of like, oh, a little, just a tiny bit, but it's okay.
It's like a balloon popping next to you.
Exactly.
You hear the voice next to you finally go, "Oh, it seems our visitor has woken up. Good morning, good sir."
Oh, hi, hi. Oh, also, as soon as I release the spell, the tattoo goes from gray to black now.
Green
Because
to black. What'd you say?
gray, I got gray. It was gray before,
Gray
and now
to
it goes
black.
back to its normal state of being black.
He kind of says, "Interesting, very interesting, very compelling. Would you like to be able to see?"
Um, am I gonna be frightened by what I'm going to witness?
Not immediately, not immediately. Nothing scary right now. He pulls off the sack on your head. You see that you are on again. You're on the one side of a one-way mirror. It looks like there are a
Oh,
lot of these. They really like these. It's a new technology. They're all over the place. And the guy sitting next to you is this blonde, kind of long-haired guy, very greasy, and he's very human. I don't know how else to describe him, but he's very human. Yeah, and you look at him, and he just is looking at you very curiously, and he has a bunch of instruments on a table next to him, and it looks like he's basically just been like poking and prodding and trying to understand what your tattoo is and how it works.
so is there a reason why you brought me here against my
Yes,
will?
you are. I mean, sure, there are unregistered people like aliens, things like that, that aren't supposed to be in the country. You're not supposed to be here at all. You shouldn't have been born. You shouldn't have been raised to the level that you are. So really, we have no, you're not here because you're not anywhere because you're not technically supposed to be alive.
Wow. Well, that's nice of you to say, and I will like try to jiggle my arms out of these
Yeah,
brace
roll me
brackets.
a strength check.
Oh, I think it's like a -5. Oh, okay, never mind. It's not as bad as I thought.
Not -5.
No, no.
-4 is the highest that's actually possible to roll, and that's if you roll 3 nat ones.
It's an 8.
Yeah, it doesn't even moderately budge. You're just
Ah. Okay.
Hey,
doesn't mean you're not useful, my good friend. You are very useful. But not as you are now. Not as you are now. The most you can do right now is probably like the little fire that you performed a while back. So we're going to fix that.
Well, you could have just asked me nicely. You know.
Asked you nicely, of course, but we're going to incentivize you. You like to be powerful, right? Everyone likes to be powerful.
Yeah, but right now I'm not feeling very powerful.
You will, you will. And he gestures to like one of the people next to him. He's like, so suspicions are correct. Bring in the next appointment. And he pats you on the shoulder, and as he walks out, he says, if you need anything, just scream. We'll know.
Am I going to be okay here? Like, what is this thing
You'll
pointing
be
towards
more,
my arm?
yeah, you'll be more than okay. You'll be more than okay. he walks out. You hear a door close. This is a little dark. Is everybody okay with that?
Oh, great.
Yeah.
You
Am I gonna lose a limb?
Is
in
this
the
dark?
room in front of you, now that you're kind of able to see into it and you kind of know what's happening, you see that there's a chair there. And after some further experiment, like looking at it, you're looking at another chair that has like electrical nodes and wires set up to it. And you see a tiefling man with like long red horns in like, stereotypical black and white scrubs walk in and sit down in the chair as guards are forcing him, and he's struggling, and you realize that you are watching a tiefling's execution.
Oh, I will be silent for now.
To spare all of this, gratuitous violence, because I don't want it to be gratuitous in any way, you watch this man's execution. And you realize as he's dying, and it's horrible and graphic and terrible, that he is a divine being, and he will count toward whatever thing is on your tattooed arm that is powering up as divine beings die around
And do I feel like a weird surge or something?
you. You don't feel anything physical, but you get the feeling that if you were to inspect your arm and inspect your tattoos in detail, like, kind of the shoulder where it might be hard to see while you're tied down, some things might be changing.
Oh, great. I can't break free.
After this happens and you start to see them like clean up what was a state-sanctioned murder, the guy walks back in. He says, "Wonderful." He inspects your arm, kind of looks through it, kind of looks through all the different patterns and everything. And he goes, "Yes, it looks like our suspicions were correct. You're going to have a wonderful stay here, after which you will be more than capable of doing whatever we request of you. It's lovely."
To make my stay more wonderful, I feel like, I should be able to have free ability to my limbs at least, or at least the right to know what's going on.
Should and will are very different things, my young sir.
But well, at least for the execution, did I really have to watch?
We're not sure. I think you just need to be in the vicinity of the death. But I mean, you're curious, aren't you?
Okay, just quietly accept where I'm being dragged
to. He's like, "Wonderful. We're going to get along splendidly. I'll turn your chair to the left so you can only, glance over every once in a while. We'll see if that works. But I would hate to waste a death." And so he turns your chair so you're just looking at the sidewall and the windows to your right. And he just kind of pats your shoulder and he's like, "There's only a couple more scheduled for today, so here's on you.
Okay, great.
If you ever need anything, my name is Sebastian, and it is a pleasure to help you."
Great. Can you remove me from here? That's kind of what I need.
"Nope." And he walks out and you hear the door lock.
And I just sigh
So yeah.
and close my eyes for the next execution.
Close your eyes. Okay.
Just a spell.
So you guys have, Kubo, because you have the tracking spell on you, you know that he's not dead, but for some reason he did just get rid of the summons, the birds that he had summoned to be around you guys.
It's just Kubo's having a wild time. But personally, he's just like, honestly, it's probably just more like, oh shit, we really got to get this going. Maybe I speed up a little bit on the road. But if I'm meeting up with Kyle, because I joined late, sorry, but we're leaving from where I'm meeting you.
If you'd like to. Kyle is getting more information about the guy that you killed. He was going to like a local bar. So we'll cut back to that scene, and you can, you'll have been told like the butler that drove him near there would have told you kind of the area to expect him. Kyle, you pick this bar. It is called the peg leg. And as you walk in, it's smoky, it's nasty. This is like a place where there's like tobacco spit on the floor, and they just clean it up like once a week. And there's not like it's a gross place. But you walk in, and you've seen grimier, and you know how to blend in here. So, what would your first instinct be?
Well, a couple preliminary things. I would have used my disguise kit on the way here to make a fake tattoo replicating the Special Forces tattoo that Furclaw had on my arm. And you use some use the grease pen and some ash to kind of age myself up a little bit, kind of emphasize the wrinkles that I have a little bit of, because he's kind of at that ambiguous age, but he's gonna make himself look a little bit older and rougher to kind of look pure human rather than half elf. And yeah, he's gonna pretty much walk in with an intentionally affected kind of military stride, you know, that lean kind, but kind of like purposeful, almost march.
Yeah.
And just walk straight up to the bar and take a seat, looking expectantly at the bartender.
Yeah. So roll me a performance check just for your entrance and delivery. I'm very confident with your high level deception that you'll be fine.
Or performance or deception?
We'll do a performance and then a deception. That's totally fine. Okay. So you walk in, you get the feeling first that like nobody's really watching you. Then you sit down at the bar and you know just wait for attention. The guy turns around. He's missing an eye, but rather than do any efforts to like put a glass eye or a patch or anything, he just has an open abscess where his eye used to be and is not trying to hide it at all. He turns around and goes, "I never served with you. What unit were you with?" Just pointing at your tattoo.
I assume did I recognize the tattoo or know exactly which one it was?
I think you'd know enough to know it was a special unit's, you know, like pretty intense.
You know, we don't say what unit we're in.
Well, fair. It's been a while since I've read my rule books.
Heard an old friend of mine was around here. He said he had some work for those of us from the shit. You know anything about that?
Yeah, well, it happened, I don't know, maybe a couple months ago. They strolled by, offered a bunch of some of these grimy guys some work, and haven't seen a bunch of them for a while, so I'm assuming it pays well. They're spending their money at the nicer casinos and the nicer bars, so what can you do?
Yeah, and I'll take a whiskey sour, and I'll put a big, I don't know our military or the currency, but I'm obviously way overpaying as a bribe as I pass the money across to him.
He goes, "Well, wow, I'm feeling mighty talkative."
Friend, I don't know what he might have given you, but I knew him by Gunton Furclaw. You know who might have talked to him?
Some prison. I mean, so they were like officials, but they were clearly like prison guards when they came by. I mean, I don't know much beyond that. If I'm to be honest, Gumpton was a nasty piece of work, though. I mean, he was the one guy I wanted to kick out more than anybody else. Most of them were chill, but he was just nasty.
Yeah, we all were. give a meaningful look.
You know, but I mean, yeah, fair. He pours you a whiskey sour. He mixes it up a little bit, gives that to you. He goes, "Yeah. I mean, if you're meeting with those other guys, I mean, they're nasty people. Man, were they consistent customers? And I'm missing them, or my pocketbook's missing them. So if you get a chance to meet back up with them, let me know."
How good is the whiskey sour?
I know nothing of alcohol personally.
I know.
I will say that it is a little grimy.
I down it, and like, well, pretty good drink. I'll make sure they're reminded how good the service is here. Sure, is there anyone else that might know a little bit more?
He pulls out like a napkin and writes something on the napkin real quick. Kind of like slides it across the table. He goes, I know that was the guy from the prison. And he was a hooty tooty. I mean, like fancy boy is the best way I can describe him. I don't know if you'll be able to get in contact with him. Yeah, I've only saw him that one time, never seen him before. But I do know, and he looks around to make sure nobody's listening very carefully. He was from prison 4. So take that for what you will. He kind of leans back.
Well, thank you. And what's the name, out of curiosity?
It just says Sebastian.
Okay.
And then it says like a couple other small details like prison 4. And then he actually does include a contact. Like it looks like it's a buddy of his that works at the prison in a more official capacity. Like he's actually just like a guard. And his name's Clawthorn. Chuck Clawthorn.
Well, thank you very much for the drink. I'm gonna go see if I can hunt down my buddy here.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to help a fellow armed, prior comrade, I guess you could say.
I give him a salute and leave.
He gives
Okay.
another salute back. He looks so old as he gives you the salute. Like he looked old before, but now it just accentuates how old he is.
If this is okay, Kyle, if you're leaving the building, when you leave, Kubo's car is like just pulled up, just waiting for you. If that's
Horrified. That's totally fine, but Kyle is horrified.
okay. You just hear like the unlock.
I'm just walk out, and you'd recognize him. He didn't really change his clothes or anything like that, but like you can tell his eyes just like widen, looking, and he just kind of like glances at the car, then like he looks you in the eyes, and then just turns and starts walking down the street a little bit, where it gets a little darker, and you have dark vision, so you'd see a subtle hand gesture. So you're like down here.
Yeah. So Kubo probably, I don't know if you see this, Kubo rolls his eyes at you. He's like, what the fuck, whatever. And he follows you, and he's still waiting. I will say that when you look into the car, Kubo is wearing his human disguise or whatever. So he looks basically like a human, but the same, like he still has his long kind of black locks and stuff. Just
I saw you on both sides of it, technically, didn't I? Because I saw you in the beginning of the prior to the card game, and then during it.
Yes, I guess you did. I just wanted to
yeah.
Either way.
Yeah. No, I'm mostly just saying that so that it's obvious that I recognized you, rather than some weird telepathy from. I mean, granted, I'd probably be like, "There's a car out in front of here. I know why," but still.
I mean, if it helps. Sorry, I can hear myself, so I'll step back a bit. But he still has the same eye colors, the same yellow eyes, and like the same ring and everything on. So you guys are good to go.
Yeah. After this awkward exchange of like you just pulling up, him being like, "Be more secretive," looking around, it's like 2 a.m. There's not even drunks on the road anymore. is like fully pulled aside. It's got an awkward, paranoid interaction. You guys are both in the same car driving to where you want to go.
Kubo is just like, Kyle, are the how are the pigs?
I don't think they're pigs.
Hmm.
This stinks. It's whatever it is. It's not official. I got a name and a location.
Prison 4?
Yes.
That's not great news for us, as you might already know. And they will show that even in their disguised self, you can still see on like his palm that he's showing you. Real quick, there's like a spell active. He's like, I also have, I guess, the navigation, so to speak, set up to find Leo. You notice that the crows left us, right?
Yeah.
You think that could mean that something has happened to him?
Well, I was waiting for that to happen. It could mean he's dead. It could also mean that whatever the place is has some form of anti-magic security.
Sorry, Kyle, I don't mean to cut you off. I don't think he's dead. I don't know if it's just because the spell, I can sort of feel that he's alive, if that makes sense. You're kind of a magic user, right? I fell, so if I'm misremembering, that's my bad. Um, hmm. But, at least hopefully, or maybe he's like close to death. That's better than nothing, though, right?
I'm not a wizard. I'm a magician, and again, a bird flies out of his. There's a little flash of fire, like Barney Harrison.
The car swerves to the side as this dove gets trapped in the car for a hot second. Close up in the window.
Like, oh, son of a bitch. Absolutely. Kuba's like, okay, a magician. Fine, yes, I'll remember. Confesses to himself and
That's a very important distinction.
Confesses to himself and celestial about birds and magicians.
Sorry, that was just too easy. That was a great one.
That felt very Arrested Development like. But yeah, so Kubo knows his way around the car and stuff. He's just gonna keep driving if you want to keep talking. We can either do it like heavy in roleplay, or we can just kind of talk like this. If that.
I was gonna ask, what do I specifically know about Prison 4? Do I know anything else about it from underground contacts, people that might have been interred there, anything like that?
Yeah, so the good news is that it is not the highest security prison in Sheen City. It's not like, renowned for being impenetrable or impossible to escape, but it is known for being like the death row prison. Like this is where they put people basically on the way to being killed. But because it's like, they do a lot of legal proceedings to confirm that someone is actually, death row, there's like a long wait for actually being executed. There's a lot of people held there. And so like it wouldn't be impossible to get in. You already have a contact there that may be able to be swayed to help you sneak in. But like consistently there's like 10 to 20 people killed there like each night. And it's just kind of like a rotating schedule thing that's where it happens, and you could be in prison there for like a full month on death row before you're in jail. And there's like a whole investigative force that's like confirming that they were actually the people that performed the crimes. And so there's it's like, that's where they kill people. That's kind of the prison that that's what you know about the prison.
Do I know even that either by in person, by reputation, or just the name of anyone that's currently being held there?
Oh, like people like that, yeah. Most of the people that you work with, frankly, are good enough to not get caught. And so you don't know people like intimately well, but you would know like even just from like reading newspapers or like that you might have like a friend on the side here or there. We'll gotta say this just because I love your connections here. Roll me like a what would this be? This is like a streetwise roll. that doesn't really exist in the
They don't have a lot of the classic knowledge things anymore.
Only a history check. We'll do that.
All right. 14.
Okay, so this is a guy that you knew like 2 years ago, and now he's kind of gotten a comedic reputation of being just permanently in prison for. His name is Bartleby Brewer, and he has just been on death row for like a year, and it's mostly just because the nature of his crime is so hard to determine. Like they can't really confirm if he performed the murder or not because it was like a really, really complicated murder. And so they keep finding new details about the murder case that keep extending his execution. So he's just been like living here for a year and a half. And so you met him before he was interred, but that was like 2 years ago. And so you haven't heard hide or hair about him. You just hear the occasional news story talking about like he is still on death row. They found a new piece of DNA, a new magical signature. And he's not really a friend, but he's a person who knows who you are.
Okay.
Okay. And then I just want to make sure that I can clarify this. So Kubo knows what their dad told him, that potentially my brother, who I thought was dead, apparently is not, could maybe somehow help us get there, or was I misunderstanding that? But we have contacts
Yeah,
too.
but he's in hell, so he's their contact, right? I think that's what I got.
So I'm sure that was really shocking for Kubo, and I didn't explain it super well. Your brother is dead, but he is in hell, and so your contact with hell confirming what Leopold did is your brother. But as far as helping him get to him now, it might not be very useful.
Okay, just double clarifying. So, Kyle, if you're willing to, like, do you think that you would tell Kubo this up front, or do you wait until maybe Kubo's trying to just say more things like, well, I could try to throw you over the wall, I could try to do this, I could try to summon
well, I mean, he tell you what specifically? Are you talking about the Bartleby thing?
Yeah, you have a contact, like, yeah.
What Kyle would honestly, he'd pull out a really it would actually be an ace of spades, but it's gleaming slightly, and he starts scratching things into the dashboard, almost like he's like taking notes and kind of musing to himself. But and he's talking. You're not entirely sure if he's talking specifically to you or himself as he says this. He's like, all right, so I have two primary options. I have a contact that can potentially be reached in the official prison capacity, Chuck Clawthorne, seeking employment for Sebastian along with the guards. Or I can assume the identity of a lawyer representing the interests of Bartleby Brewer.
If you were a lawyer, that could really work. My mom could help back you up if we needed, and maybe I could be like, I forget lawyer terms, this is real life, this isn't Kubo, but like, wouldn't you have like a paralegal or someone maybe there to help you? Kubo is saying that they could attempt to, in their disguise, because they don't really go out of the house, just be like your helper, sort of thing at the prison.
Right, yeah, especially in a rougher area like that, assistance would not be out of place. Documents are relatively easy to forge, as I have before.
What do you need? Do you need anything?
I love that you are scratching notes into the dashboard. This guy's a monster. You just let a bird loose in your car. I mean, I'm sorry for him.
Well, I think that Kubo initially was about to like beat you to death, not really, but like attack you. But then he was like, "Oh, you're doing something." Okay, like he kind of let it slide in the moment. not to be like aggressive, but Kubo has anger issues, but he's able to hold them really well. Like he's gone to therapy. I would.
There was a there was a kind of a half envisioned moment that I kind of used for kind of. I mean, I drew a lot of inspiration from like Sherlock Holmes and a lot of similar stuff for the character. And there's an episode and a callback to it in House where he's just writing stuff blatantly on a wall with permanent marker, and somebody like mentions something to him, he's like, "Not my wall," and just completely ignores it, goes back to what he's doing. And I just thought that would be a really funny moment if this was an overnight planning thing in like the house. What to do on paper, and then that, accidentally did that. Anyway,
But I still think it's funny. But to clarify, that's why maybe Kubo didn't give you the reaction that you were looking for, because he was doing his deep breathing next to you, like, "Wow, that's so cool! Oh man, really great! Yeah, like, oh yeah." Mm-hmm.
The steering wheel gets a little bent. So I'm assuming you guys turn toward Prison 4, and you guys are starting to travel there.
Yeah, unless Kyle told Kubo not to. Kubo was ready to go the moment he picked him up. So
yeah, no, I mean we definitely need to head there, and it's a place where as long as we approach it in an official capacity, a car wouldn't be out of place potentially even at that odd hour. Although if we get super close to it and we haven't come up with a firm plan yet, I might ask to stall it. But
are we gonna stick with the lawyer idea? The lawyer sneak in? Because that sounds fun. And if we needed to, I could turn us around and, like, I don't know, we could just say that maybe Ariana is kind of like running the roost a bit still while Peregrine is like recovering or something. And maybe she would even just hand out like us, I don't even know if it's a pass or what it would be for like lawyers. Like it's not like a press badge, but like a lawyer badge sort of a thing. We just take two and we go.
It's official. It's official documentation, similar to a warrant.
Do you want to pretend to be my mom?
If you mention that, roughly how similar.
Are you guys around the similar height? How tall are you again? And you're Kyle. Like Kubo's eyeing you right now.
He's intentionally, well, I mean, because of how I want him to function, he's a little short for a human, a little tall for an elf, kind of. So I mean, probably he'd be tall for a human woman, but like 5'7", 5'8", something like that.
That's probably, I would imagine, the same. I imagined Ariana like tallish. So I mean. Kubo's like, yeah, okay.
As you are working the dashboard with your card, wantonly making notes in it, the glove compartment opens and you see that there's like kind of pre-made documents for representing Ariana's law office. That will be an easy gimme. You would have that very easily available to you.
Kubo would probably just say something like, we not like we do this a lot, but we do this a lot.
I'd probably pull out something. I'd pull out like 3 letters that were like from different law offices, and I'm like, yeah, I know, me too.
Kubo would be like, oh, good man, okay. We're on the same page.
As you guys are driving over, the sun is starting to rise. It has been a long night. If it weren't for those potions that would let you get a long rest immediately, you'd be kind of done. But yeah, we're gonna say that it's becoming morning, and you, with that spell that's still functioning on your hand, Kubo, know that Leopold is still alive and he's still in the prison. Leopold, you have unfortunately had to sit through about 15 executions next to you. I've heard these different last words and bargaining and begging and very unfortunate things. But I will say that after the end of this experience, there is no more vagueness about what you can do from your class. Everything from your class document, you are fully able to do now as if you were the level summoner that you are. I'm not going to be playing patty cake with you anymore. You've powered up.
Great. I still don't have my arms. It's so.
Can you feel?
I still can't leave.
On you? Can you like feel that we're coming towards you?
Oh, not at all.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't think you would. If you wanted to
No.
roll an Arcana check, I would allow you to sense something like that. But I don't think Sebastian would be able to, for sure.
Oh, you know, I would think these guys don't give a flying F about me.
Oh,
not
no.
yet.
Sebastian comes in, and he like inspects your arm softly. He's like, very good, very good. Color is strong. We're definitely getting a very strong infernal, influence here. Unfortunately, a lot of infernal tieflings are interred here for usually correct reasons, but we're in a very complicated world. He pulls up a pillow, and rather than like getting you ready for bed, he just puts the pillow in between your head and the steel chair that you're sitting in, and he goes, "Get some good rest. We've got a long day ahead of you tomorrow."
Wait, what? You're just gonna put a pillow over my head?
Well, yes, you're prisoner of the state. I mean, you're not even supposed to exist. Most foreign governments would demand that we have you killed. So
I can't
really,
even
this is
see. Like, I you're just gonna bag me?
to bag you. No, 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 no. You're important to us. We're going to keep you alive. I'm going to keep you alive. I think you're wonderful. You're going to fit our needs very, very well. But I cannot let you have your arms free yet.
Wow,
Just
great.
finger gunned Leo. Oh my god.
Great. Just leave me then. Just
All right, all
frustrated.
right. We'll get along. We're going to be great. You and I, we're going to be great friends.
No, we're not. No. And I'm just shaking my head.
You'll come around. You'll come around after a couple weeks. He leaves, closes the door. You have no way to know if it's day or night. You just know you're tired, even though you got some sleep from the sleeping spell that hit you before. And you hear the only light that's coming into that room is the light from the execution chamber, and that goes out, and then you are just cast into complete darkness. But you are on your own.
Great. Well, I cannot summon because I have no freedom of my arm. Can I cast anything? Oh, with no movement,
It would have to not have a somatic component.
which is like nothing I have. I guess I will. Uh, can I give the brace a go again? Like another shimmy?
Yeah, I'll say too, like you could try to do like an acrobatics kind of check to like slip your hands out if you've got really noodly arms, Like I'll give you, and you've got time. And so you can do basically like taking 20, and we'll just roll to see how long it takes you to get out. But it'll take a good chunk of time, and it's no guarantee that you aren't being monitored.
Break your own thumb.
I love that you just started rolling as Jacob said that. Perfect.
With the power.
Nat 20 plus 2. I picture Leopold as a very goth guy, a very goth, like meager, muscled, kind of skinny, like the kind of guy that fits in like an Addams Family story.
Yes.
And I think after like struggling a couple times, you managed to like just flatten your hands completely and fold your thumb in, and you just pull back sharply, and you just fully clear the shackle just entirely. Just you hadn't even tried that angle before.
Oh my god, immediately I raise my arm above me and I resummon Arashi and bring forth these two birds.
Okay, so your hands are free. I'm gonna say your legs are still tied into the steel chair. They appear like, come on, the other guys are telling us about this. Why'd you bring us back? What do you want?
Do you not see my situation? Unfree me. I mean, free me.
All right. I'm gonna roll just dexterity checks for them. They kind of peck awkwardly at your legs. It's clear they really don't know what they're doing.
Their dex is +4, by the way.
Oh, they got +4. They still got only like 13.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they just kind of awkwardly help and just kind of peck at you. Um, yeah. What else would you like to try and do here? You can
No
even fall down
budge.
and help them.
Uh, what do I have? What do I have? Can I can I inspect? Oh, well, I can't really like see. When they were like trying to break free from it, did it sound like very dense metallic braces on
No,
my
no, it sounds like they're just like leather straps.
Oh, leather? Oh, okay. I thought they were like metallic. Wait, the birds couldn't break out of the leather? Damn
Yeah,
you
well, almost.
birds.
They're just kind of pecking at it awkwardly.
Uh
Your hands
I
are free. You can just reach down and try and fumble with them.
oh, I thought I couldn't see anything. I didn't want to take a
Yeah.
chance.
We'll simplify things a little bit because like you can't see, but you have no time limit here. So it might take you a little longer, but yeah, you fumble down there. The birds are kind of hopping around awkwardly. Like it's dark. Come on, man. This is nonsense. What? How do we get out of this? How do we finish this? Come on.
Well, give me a second. Well, I'm just gonna hope for the best and see what I could do in the darkness.
Yeah.
Would that be a dexterity?
Yeah, we'll do a little quick dexterity, and this will be like with advantage. I mean, that's well again. You're getting out. This will just tell us how long it takes.
Oh, another natural 20.
Wow. Yeah, you reach down, flip them off, and you're able to stand up in this dark room, which is very disorienting. But yeah, you are in this dark room.
Oh, this is great. Okay. Uh, I'm just going to slowly just walk straight, or at least towards the direction of where I last saw the door and try to remember, and then have my hands in front of me. So hopefully I'll like touch a wall at some point.
Yeah, do you not have any spell that will generate light for you?
No, not that I see.
Okay.
Unless mage hand glows.
No. You walk toward the door, and you start to walk over. You feel your hand touch something sharp, and you take 4 slashing damage as you touch something very, very, very sharp on a table in front of you that seems to have been in your way of the door that you hadn't seen.
Oh, this is not good. Also, question. Since was sleeping prior, did I get any kind of rest?
We'll say a
or
short rest. I think that's
a
fair to
short
say.
rest?
You get a short rest of just, quick nap, quick spot nap, snap nap.
Okay. So then I also want to heal myself as well. So I'm gonna cast healing spell because I'm already super low. I'm just gonna cast Cure Wounds. Cure Wounds. And that will and then I'll continue trying to be careful or like, try to go around the sharp object thing.
Yeah.
Is it like a huge
You're
like
able to
item?
navigate around it. I think that that's fair to say. You feel like the table that the object was sitting on, and you're able to
Mhm.
navigate around it. And you've managed to finally feel the door, and then you feel like where the handle is and everything.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so then I'm gonna slowly open the door.
It is locked.
No. Uh, and I
As
don't know
you're
the time of
feeling it,
day.
what?
And I don't know the time of day you said, right?
No. As you're feeling it, though, you do feel that there is like one of those like eye slit slider things in the top of the door. But if you were to open it, you would might
Oh.
get more information.
Then yes, I will exactly do so and
On
peek
the
through.
prisoner side?
Good point. Good point. But this is
I'll take whatever.
You'll see why. You'll see why. So you open this up. When you look in, it looks like it is just like um, a dirt like hallway. Like it doesn't even look like this is an official prison area. This is not like a well-trafficked road. And there's just like a dangling electric lights just kind of like sitting in this hallway that casts light on the hallway. As you open the door, some of that light filters into the extremely dark room that you're in, and you see that you only saw a handful of the instruments that were in this room when the lights were on, and you could see. Now that she's like, there's light cast on this back end of the room, there are some terrifying implements of torture, terrifying like saw or like bone saws. The thing that you were cutting yourself on, that you cut yourself on, was this like nasty looking like cigar cutter the size of an arm kind of a
Oh,
thing. Like,
jeez.
it's clear that like Sebastian is being very polite, but has the ability to be very vicious.
Oh, so I'm not with this. And there's no windows, you said, right?
No,
Hmm.
this, you can tell, and I say with more like intuition stuff, the hallway behind you is clearly underground.
Oh.
I
uh,
feel so bad for Leo. He has had so many hard
I
knocks.
literally have like nothing to free. Uh,
The birds are kind
there's
of
no way.
awkwardly hopping around the room, just kind of pecking at things and inspecting things.
I don't know if I can't break the door down. I'm gonna search the room. I'm gonna maybe try to. Uh, they wouldn't leave a. I'm stumped. I,
I'm sorry, and I love this. You roll your sleeves up and start to do your search. We're gonna cut back to Kubo and Kyle up above the prison. You guys bring the car up to the prison that is just starting to come to life with the rest of the city as like the sun rises, the city starts to stir, and you can see some guards milling about the prison.
Okay. Kyle, can we agree that maybe the like idea that we came to like a consensus on was that like since you're pretending to be Ariana, that like we were
That was actually my first thing. I was gonna see if I could put together a disguise that made me look convincingly like Ariana before otherwise I would just try to look like someone in the employ of Ariana. And considering the fact that it's your mother, you'd have a good estimation of roughly how effective it was, and so I could kind of do the role preliminarily, and then if it didn't work, I'd just try something else.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can drop a roll in there. We'll see how that goes.
Okay, so disguise. I have proficiency. Disguise check. Is that gonna be int or dex?
I think int is fair.
Okay. 16.
I mean, we'll do this from Kubo's perspective. It is a simple but flattering representation of your mother, not near the grace that she typically exhibits, but would be convincing to anyone, especially anyone that had never seen her personally.
Okay, cool. So
I can perfectly imitate her accent and speech patterns.
Good. Okay, that's really good. No, Kubo's more worried about that. He does say like, my mom is much prettier than you, but this'll do. And probably also Kubo's idea is this: so they were attacked, and like we know that what they don't know is that we know that since I killed that guy, that we know that some of them are like ex-military sort of a thing. So we're on to them potentially. So like maybe we should say that like you're here and I'm like here to help you. We're just here to like take some statements about some things that have been happening from some of the like conditions of people waiting on death row to die, sort of a thing. What do you think?
Well, again, I have the specific name of someone that I have some degree of familiarity with.
Okay.
And due to attorney-client privilege, no one would be able to listen in on the conversation.
Okay.
So I would probably just approach under the premise of talking to said client.
Okay, I'm just there to help. I'll wait outside, and he does. I'm hoping the car is parked at this point because he does use his fingers to do like the air parentheses, air quotes. He's like, I can start to like actually pinpoint Leo's location, and maybe if I get caught, I'm just like, oh, I had to go to the bathroom or something. You know what I mean?
Right, and I believe in most circumstances, you would be allowed to accompany me, should the client sign off on it, which I believe I can accomplish.
Hmm.
If not, of course, you would be waiting shortly outside the room, and well, then we'll see exactly how things play out. But I have a few ideas.
I'm just stoked in either way this works out. It seems like we can kill the dudes who did this to us, so let's go get that vengeance. Hoorah.
Well, again, and especially if approaching under the guise of being under the employ of your mother, I don't necessarily believe that lethal force would be advised in the situation if it's possible to avoid. But things happen, I suppose.
Kubo is just gonna laugh at you as he leaves the car. That's it. He's just like-
You
Not
guys,
like a mean laugh.
Also, I kept I meant to say something about this earlier, but I didn't. But I would like to point out how much easier this would be if I could pretend to be the guy that they killed if it wasn't such an obvious execution like chopping off their head.
Oh, so you wanna so okay, you can have
I want to point out that this would be a
Kubo,
lot
okay.
easier.
Kubo is just gonna be like,
Yeah, first
okay,
you
so
kill-
next time you can kill the guy and get the advice, and then you can tell me how to do it.
But next time I'm gonna go ahead and not be killed as I walk inside and start, shooting at things rather than run out. And
Is that what happened to you?
if they were firing live rounds, how would that have played out? Anyway,
Kubo's just gonna walk away from you because in his mind that was a success. He got to kill someone. It was awesome. I don't know, but that's okay. A little different there.
yeah, Kyle definitely tries for non-lethal force if he can.
Okay, I'm gonna take the reins here. I love the idea.
I
You
know.
guys are walking up to this prison with like barbed wire and chain link fences. You guys are basically bickering like children. Like, no, I just shut up, stop, no, shut.
Mm-hmm.
Getting at
I'm
My
your
you.
mother.
mom, like
Listen to me.
my mom walks like this, and you're like,
Your mother, shut up and listen to me.
You guys manage to cross. You guys get to like the first security depot, and there's like this very like slouch tiefling guy who's just kind of like barely awake. It's clear he's got like his first cup of coffee, and he is still like barely up. And you guys walk up to the door, and he just goes, "Names and in purpose. Who are you visiting?"
Ariana Kaibo, Esquire, and companion. We are visiting our client, and kind of looks at a pad, like almost like she clearly doesn't give a crap about someone so low. Bartleby Brewer.
Was it again? Yeah, fine. Prosecution or defense?
Defense.
Defense. Okay, yeah, for sure, whatever. He presses a button. He has you guys sign like a login, like a sign-in page. He goes, "You're only allowed on the first floor. The observation and communication rooms are on the first floor to your left. We have guards on each room. Ask them if you get lost, any questions at all." Yep.
I'm quite familiar with the procedure. Thank you. I say curtly and continue on.
Roll me some insight checks, just because you can just kind of roll these whenever you have an interaction, just kind of see what's going on here.
I got a 19.
19. Kyle, this is all business as usual, nothing weird. Kubo, this is like kind of like a little too easy, but this is like the first step, like there's no reason for them to be, questioning you. There are a couple other people that are streaming in, but they're clearly not here in a legal capacity. They're like visiting family or friends. And so you guys come in. The prison is kind of grimy. It's clearly not like, this is not like a steel walled prison. This is like cinder blocks. It's just kind of cinder block like construct, but it's very deep. It's like not a very large building, but it's clear that it goes deep into the earth in a couple places. As you walk in with those insight checks, Kyle, this kind of seems like your rote prison Kubo, with that 19, you can tell that people here are more tired than they should be. It looks like people are like run ragged a little bit more than you'd expect. And like not the prisoners, like the staff, like the guards and everything. And you can tell that yeah, that's probably all you get with that initial insight. But yeah, you're able to walk in and you request Bartleby to be sent to a questioning room. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Do they let me in with Ariana, or do I wait outside? Which is either way is fine. But
you're able to stand outside the door or inside. The questioning room is one of those rooms that has like a screen. So there's like one side of the room for the prisoner, one side of the room for the questioning party. And so you can either enter in or wait outside the door.
I will quickly look to Ariana to just make sure to see what she would like me to do.
Of course, you are able to enter after the guard has secured the prisoner and our safety.
I want you to roll me another insight here, Kyle. But the guard kind of opens the door, pushes open, and you see here, and the guard, as he guides you in, he's like, Mrs. Cadros, wonderful to see you. Rough morning, right?
Aren't they all?
He nods. With the 16, he is very surprised to see Miss Ariana here this early in the morning. You enter into this room. This guard quickly, like he stands outside the door just in case you need anything. Immediately as you walk in, Bartleby goes like, I don't know who you are. You're on my defense. What the hell?
Couple of thieves can't hand signs that cut him off as soon as he starts talking.
I mean, you're a lousy prosecutor, you piece of shit. Like he starts like yelling at you as if
I'm his defendant. What the hell?
Defendant.
Whatever, defender. Yeah.
And so as the door closes, he goes like, what the hell you want with me, dude? I got nothing. I'm trapped in here.
Can Kubo just snarl at him? I just feel like that's something he would do.
He's like, whoa. Call your guard dog off. I don't want nothing to go. I'm supposed to be dead anyway, right?
Yeah, down.
Oh my gosh.
All right, Bartleby. I'm fully aware of everything you've done. You probably know me, and glancing at Kubo for a second, I'd kind of mutter a few phrases in Thieves' Cant that he would recognize.
Okay, basically just introducing yourself so he remembers who you are and stuff.
Yeah. Or personas and feats that I've done in the past, I guess.
He like brushes his chin. He's like, "Well, that's great. I mean, I remember you. I remember you were a big deal back then. But like, what the hell does that have to do with me? I mean, is somebody in the prison? You want me to ice somebody? Can you get me out of here? What's the plan here?"
I can get you out if you help me get someone else out.
He looks around and he's like, these things are secure, but guards will still listen in because they're pieces of shit. They'll do whatever the hell they want. So like,
I doubt it. We do have a attorney-client privilege, and I'd flip out a little coin out of my palm that isn't glowing at the moment.
Gotcha.
It's my magic detection.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, clever. He goes, okay. Yeah, well, I mean, getting people out is hard, but it depends on how noisy you want to be. If you guys want to cause some real problems and crush some heads, go for it. But he leans in. These new guards, they're no joke, man. These new guards, they're serious. I've seen them crush a skull for no reason at all.
I know, and I've seen that fella behind me chop one's head off for damn near less.
Kubo smirks like they're like smug smiled at themselves when you say that.
Bartleby leans back like, whoa, okay, if you guys are that hardcore, whatever, man. But like, I mean, I'm almost always on the first floor. What kind of creep are you trying to get out of here?
Look, we're dealing with some stuff. It's probably above both of our pay grades, and I'm a few pay grades above you. But there's something going down, and I intend to stop it by any means necessary.
He starts putting like, sorry, keep on.
No, go ahead.
He starts.
I would have dramatically paused and let him talk if he wanted to.
He goes, man, now that you mention it, all these crazy guards started showing up around the same time that blonde fop guy showed up. And I've never heard his name, but I see him coming in and out of the prison every once in a while.
What's his name? Well, you just said
The name is Sebastian, perhaps?
I mean, I haven't heard his name yet, but he started showing up. So a lot of the guards quit all at once, and we thought it was just that they weren't getting paid well enough. But then the new people that they hired on are wild. Like
a bunch of guards have a mark looking like this, and I slam a metal cube on the table, press a button, and the little the special forces tattoo or whatever that they have appears.
I'm gonna roll a luck check on this actually. He goes, I mean, I haven't seen him get like undressed before, but I've seen that. I have seen that.
Yeah, we're dealing with something a little big here, but luckily for you, that means that when all this shakes out, it's going to be nice and easy for you to disappear. So you help us bust this guy out, maybe a few others. It won't be too hard for you to take off, even with your subtle MO. I'm kind of sarcastic about that because you mentioned that he did something really weird for his murder or whatever.
Yeah. It was like a murder that was like, it was nasty. It was like sexually oriented. It wasn't clear if it was like intentional or accidental or yeah.
Does Kubo know about this guy? Can I make a history check? Because Kubo might take the law into his own hands, maybe.
Yeah, you can roll a history check.
I got a 17.
So the weird thing about his murder was it technically was consensual. So he wasn't, but the other person did die, but it's a mess.
Did the other person ask him to kill him?
It was like one of those things where, you know, like as a fetish, they wanted to be like tortured or like stabbed or something like that, but you know, yeah, okay, all right, yeah.
Yeah. It's really weird to.
We don't know any details.
I didn't plan for it to be this gross, I promise. But like all of this just to say, he is not like villainous. He's just a weirdo. Like, and he was a weirdo in a certain way that ended with someone dying, and it was a very confusing legal line. That's a weird. I didn't mean to make it this weird.
I'm okay with it. If Kubo directly I'd be like, your dad's a fallen angel. Whatever he did was probably worse.
If you actually say that out loud, Kubo is going to scoff at you. But actually, Kyle, if you say that out loud, Kubo is going to scoff at you, and then he's going to be like, there's a difference between having power and making mistakes, and between using that power to control and harm other people. And he's saying this as someone who like is a mob boss and murders people. He has his own weird sense of honor.
Yeah, a thief. So also slightly weird, but definitely honor among thieves and doesn't kill if he can help it. Your Dark Brotherhood, I'm Thieves Guild. Oversimplification.
Bartleby just kind of raises his hand. He's like, dude, I don't know none of that nonsense. If you guys want me to start a prison riot or a fight, I can do that. I have connections. I can make a fight break out by lunch today.
Yes.
Yeah, we do, but we need it under specific circumstances at a specific time. And if you know anything about a specific area of the prison, and I'd kind of glance at you, you know the functionally the precise location of him. So like you would know like how far down, back, etc. Like,
yeah.
Can I roll for that? Like, I haven't checked in yet, I guess.
Yeah, roll a perception on that. I'll say as you're rolling this perception, Bartleby explains, so the prison's got 3 levels. You got your first floor right here, you got a second floor, and that's kind of where they keep people that are, on their way to doing stuff. And it's also where they keep the canine units, just to keep people scared. And then the floor beneath is where they keep, that's where they actually, and there's like no surveillance down there. A lot of times prisoners, once they go down there, they never come back up, period.
I'm gonna look at Kyle real quick and say that sounds, I feel like that's probably our best, that'll be us. Also, I got a 14 on that roll for the perception.
Are you,
Awesome.
are you, is up, down, left, right, whatever? I mean,
We'll say that you guys can feel that it's pretty much directly down from the room that you're in right now.
Yeah, and Kubo can say that more specifically to you, Kyle.
really, directly down.
Yes.
How far?
Kubo's going to snort at you.
He's like, there is probably a floor in between you and whoever this guy is. It sounds like you guys are pointing for one guy. I hope he's still alive if he's down there, because a lot of people go down there and die. I'm also going to tell you guys, I know for certain, I've been here for a year and a half, there are secret tunnels somewhere in this building. Because like that, off that bottom floor, nobody likes to go down there. The officials don't like to go down there. They don't like to modify, because it's where they kill people. They take out the bodies in body bags. They take them to the infirmary, incinerator, all that stuff. And like, there's no surveillance down there. What goes down there, who the hell knows,
Kubo's nodding, and then again looks at Kyle and is like, okay, so sooner the better. Looks back at our friend here and then is like, so let's say that something goes down around, say, noon. Perhaps we could slip away, or at least I could slip away if it would be better. Ariana, or maybe you could disguise yourself as someone else, and then we could go down to the basement.
Well, Bartleby, thank you very much for your time. I believe that if you could arrange a distraction somewhere around 5 minutes to noon, that would work out best for everybody.
You get me out today?
That is what I believe that's what I said.
Then you got a prison riot, 5 minutes to noon.
Alrighty.
Yeah, as you're leaving, he says like, and stay out. You're gonna kill me. You guys suck. He just screams at us. You guys leave. The door closes.
Sorry, but in a very posh, voice. I'm sorry, but the statutes of the law are very clear on this particular instance, sir.
Click. The door closes. The guard waiting outside for you guys just kind of folds his arm and goes, I hope you've completed your business. Let me escort you back out to the door.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yes, I'm sorry. I believe we need. I'd like to be escorted to conference room, and I pull out I shuffle some papers around. Probably don't say anything important, actually. 37C, I believe. We need to plan for a deposition later this morning.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Whatever. He starts walking you out. And he walks you to like conference rooms. He didn't even listen to which number you said. He just brings you to a conference room. There's like 5 of them. So he wasn't even like processing what you're saying.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, he takes you to one of these rooms. He lets you inside. And you guys are alone again in a little conference room. But yeah, this place is teeming with guards. You can start to see some prisoners walking around past like secure fences and secure, like iron barred areas. But you guys are in this secretive conference room, and you guys have some time before the day starts.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next. What exactly? What time are we at this point? I mean, we were like sunrise-ish when we approached. Where are we now?
We'll say it's like 10 a.m. now. You guys were talking to him for a while, visiting hours. And unless
yada yada.
Yeah, you guys can do some planning. But I mean, I want to kind of cut back to
do it.
Leo for a bit here.
I need to think for it anyway. So.
All right, so you guys go into this room. You guys have a moment where you're looking at each other, thinking about your next moves, and the camera goes down, passing through different layers of floor and stone until it reaches this dimly lit torture room that Leo is interred in. What would you be spending these next like 2 or 3 hours doing, Leo?
I think after like an hour of being there, processing like what's going on and realizing, okay, nobody's coming here. I'm definitely just gonna try to break this door down and leaving. I'm gonna focus super hard and bring forth a giant, well, not a giant, but a Warhammer-esque like weapon by casting spiritual weapon itself. And hopefully it will be strong enough to bash down this door.
I'm gonna say this beautiful like Daedric from Skyrim, inspired hammer with like arcing, metallic metal that's wrought in the shape of like flesh and veins, like it's summoned out of the ether. And yeah, you're gonna try and bash this door down.
Yes, and I pray. I don't like. Am I rolling its damage?
So you just roll its damage. I think since it's an object, you automatically crit, so you can roll double damage, but it has damage resistance.
Hardness, old school DR.
What is it?
So roll 2 times your damage dice as you're trying to hit this thing. But yeah, you won't need to aim at all.
Oh, okay, so 2 times. Okay, so 2d8. Okay. 2 plus. That is a 14 total.
Okay, you boom with like the spiritual weapon kind of moving on its own. It hits the door, and you hear some creaking and some bolts like jiggle loose. But it's clear that it has a lot. You'd have to do a lot more of those, and that was not quiet.
Well, I'm gonna also like as soon as that happened, and I see that not much has happened, I'm gonna quickly give my birds a face and just like help me.
Do what, dude? You're bashing down the door.
And I'll force them to cast a winged buffet, which is a double attack for each bird. So each bird will do 2d4s. So that's 4d4s plus their dexterity.
Okay, roll 2 of them. So that's a total of 8 attacks.
A total of 4 attacks.
Each would be individually calculated for the hardness, but yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. But you do get double damage dice.
Okay, wait. It's actually better if I do this way because there's too much going on. 2d4s. Yes. Okay. Wow. Okay, so that's 1, and that's the second one. So in total, 15 damage.
Yeah, you see the wind hit this door. It does none of those break the damage resistance level, and so you just see the wind buff it off of the door. You don't hear any jiggling. You don't hear any like the door is too hard of steel.
Uh, uh, did I see like any loose, like, did I hear any bolts or nails or anything fly
Not
off?
with those winds. Not with that wind
No.
attack.
Uh, I'm gonna keep bashing and hope for the best. That's all I could do at the moment.
Okay, so I just want you to keep rolling me those uh roll me those spiritual weapon attacks. Roll me like we'll say 3 more of them. Uh you guys on the first floor in the conference room start to hear like some bustle, like what the hell is that noise? And you can hear like you can't hear the individual hammer pounding, but you kind of hear like a ruckus. You kind of hear people rushing downstairs and like general, but it's hard to discern from a general, just kind of normal activity.
That's 47 damage total.
All right, there's something weird happening.
You bash this door in several times. It's still standing, but there is a large impact hole, and the door is like crested in, and the metal is warping around the door. And like it can't handle much more of this, but you can hear some people yelling on the other side of the door, like, "What the hell is he doing? I turn on, I get more guards!" And you can tell can tell you're trying to escape.
Are the lights on? Like, did they turn on the lights?
They have not turned on the lights in this room yet.
I'm gonna keep smashing. Shit. Either they open that door and get smashed themselves. I'm smashing this
Okay,
door.
roll 3 more attacks. I'm
my
going to
freedom.
say, as you're rolling these attacks, the light in the execution room goes on. Oh man, those are rough. And you can see that some guards are walking in, and these guards are just confused. You see them looking around the room like, where the hell is that noise coming from? And they're just kind of looking around, like picking stuff up. Yeah, those 3 attacks don't even hit the damage threshold, and they just clang, clang, clang. It's clear your spiritual weapon is like just thrashing.
How much time have passed? It only lasts for 1 minute, the spell.
You get about 10 attacks with that, with 1 minute, and so you've already had
7. It looks like.
Yeah, so you get 3 more before it disappears.
Okay, it better be high numbers. Okay, all right. I'll take that. Sure. That's a 35, I think.
You clang, clang, clang. Yeah. So unfortunately, only the 16 breaks it, and as the hammer, smashes into it a couple times, this thing is hanging on by a thread. The only reason you couldn't just escape through the door is because the creases in the door haven't opened enough for you to like sneak through. But like, your spiritual weapon dissipates, and the wall is still up. The door is still up.
Is there any kind of opening now, like enough where I could like fit my fist through?
Oh yeah, for sure. You could like fit your fist through, but you couldn't put your whole body through.
Okay, perfect. I'm quickly grabbing one of the Hirashis and then like trying to shove them, because since they're small birds, I'm just gonna try to push them through.
You're just trying to jam them through the door.
Yes, and I don't care about any force damage. I'll force punch them in the foot if I have to.
Wow. Okay, so roll me an athletics. I'm gonna roll an acrobatics for your bird.
+4. Athletics. Oh no.
You got a very good acrobatics roll.
It better send them home. 5.
So you roughly grab this bird that's just like, what the hell? Whoa, whoa, hey dude, and you just gotta jam him toward the door, and he manages to slip through the jam in the door. I'm gonna roll an attack. What's your bird's AC?
It better be light years. Alright. 14.
14. How much HP does he have?
24.
Okay, 1 second.
You better dodge, bird.
It takes 12 damage
Oof.
as something hits it on the other side of the door, and you hear that very polite voice say, "My good Sir Leopold, I fear that we are having a miscommunication here."
I silent, like telepathically tell the Arashi that I pushed through, fly, fly, and find an escape, fly,
Okay.
leave. And then as I say that in my head, I'm gonna grab the other one and try to shove him through the hole too, and have them both try to escape and
Roll me another
flee.
athletics check or acrobat. Yeah, athletics check.
Oh, it better be a natural 20. Well, actually, it can never be natural 20. 13.
This one is much less gentle. It takes 4 bludgeoning damage as you just kind of, jimmy it through the door, and it struggles to get its wings under control. So put 4 damage down on it.
Okay. 20. Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna say that your other bird manages to use its turn to fly away. It is gonna get hit again
Literally.
with an attack of opportunity. And that's another 12 damage on that first bird.
Okay. Oh, for first bird? So that's
Yeah.
212 damage. Okay, so then he's dead.
You feel your summons dissipate as one of them gets killed, and it goes, "All right, my friend, I'm going to open the door now. You best behave."
I still can't see, right? There's
You can look in through the peephole on the door, and you can just see. It looks like he has some strange gauntlet on one of his hands. This guy Sebastian, and it's hard to tell exactly what weapon he used, but you can see these nasty claws on the gauntlet.
Perfect. I'm going to back up like 5 feet, and I'm holding a spell in my hand, and when that door opens, I'm immediately unleashing it.
Okay, so I love the tension. How are people doing on time? Do people have another like 40 minutes in them? What's going on here?
Oh, I'm totally good. We could go as long as
40
you.
minutes, 4 hours. I don't give a shit.
I'm all Gucci too.
Cool. So you guys, as you're readying your spell up above, poor bird, the camera zooms back up 2 stories to the conference room that you guys are both chilling in.
Kubo's just like sharpening his sword.
So I assume my coin is just flipping the absolute crap out.
You mean the coin that you gave Bartleby, or what are you referring to?
No, the coin I presented to Bartleby that has the detect magic property.
Yeah, we'll say that it's like right outside of the range of like, a lot of spells that are going off, but every once in a while, like you're gonna like beep, 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 beep.
I mean, yeah, it gives me like rough direction, which I assume is basically down.
Downward, yeah.
Like,
Very
and,
clearly.
I assume more or less evocation at this point. Yeah.
So,
What time? What time are we at? Roughly up here.
We'll say this is like 10:30, 11. It's kind of in between those times here. You got about another hour before fight breaks out.
So, Kyle, what if, say, I went for a walk and came back?
First of all, you're not going for a walk. What are you actually doing? Kyle's more than smart enough to, and familiar enough to
Suspect.
just immediately be like, no. What are you actually asking?
I want to figure out
Roll a dice
the
on that.
fastest way for us to get down there and potentially size up the place. Case the joints. From what I can
Well, if he is literally directly under us, I can make that happen. But position would be important. We need to be very careful. Apparently, something is happening outside of our influence or control at the moment, which is going to result in increased lockdown measures, which is ultimately going to make our rescue more difficult.
So hear me out. The fight goes down. You're Ariana, and it would make sense that I'd want to protect you. I grab you. We, in the midst of the chaos, just get to where the downstairs is. And we're assuming that whoever's holding Leo probably is going to try to push upwards to prevent the chaos from up here to go down there, right?
If you attempt to grab me and carry me to safety like a damsel in distress, I will shoot you in the base of your skull.
Kubo's gonna roll his eyes and be like, well, now come on, it doesn't have to be gendered. You could just be in distress in general.
It's the concept, not the gender.
Listen, I would hate to impose upon your boundaries. I'm picking up what you're putting down. But if it helps, I am more than happy to sling you over my shoulder if the need arises to save your life.
Oh my gosh. Sorry. I just love that so much. It's such good petty banter. You're muted.
Am I?
You were.
You were. I didn't hear what you were saying. I'm sure it was angry.
Well, I accept that. And it may well be an acceptable plan B. I refuse to accept it as an acceptable plan A.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just offering. I mean,
I'm gonna offer this guy to you just to make things a little smoother. As you guys are talking about this, the door opens and a guy like pushes his head in and goes, I'm so sorry. We are having some security concerns, and we're asking that all prison personnel leave the establishment if possible. I'm just going to give this to you. His neck, like his ID flashes out, and you clearly see it's Chuck Clawthorne. It's the contact that the.
Damn it! I was gonna be like, can I hang your name? Yeah. All right. All right. Chuck Clawthorne. Is it?
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
I'm sorry, ma'am. It's kind of an urgent situation.
yes, I'm quite aware. I was actually contacted by one of your friends, I believe, in the blah blah blah. Mr. Firkin, I believe. He notified me.
What was the name?
Mr. Firkin.
Oh, Furclaw. You're talking about the contact?
Yeah, no, sorry.
Gotcha. Oh, you're good.
Mr. Furclaw, I believe, he notified me of some serious violations taking place in this prison, and you seem to be bearing similar marks.
He looks behind him in the door, and he comes inside, and he's like immediately starts to brandish his billy club, and he points it at you, and he goes, "That's impossible."
Kubo immediately is by your side and hasn't pulled out his sword yet, but he's like, "Are you sure you want to take such a aggressive stance and tone with Ariana Kadros?"
Well, of course, such persecution would not be necessary. I mean, it's quite obvious that you were leveraged into an unfortunate position by people with greater connections than yourself, and it would be unfortunate if that were to be revealed. However, with the knowledge I've acquired, it would also be disadvantageous for you were you not to assist me in assessing the risk of this particular breach of national ethics.
This guy, I want to say you don't even need to roll an insight. This guy is furious. He hates being threatened, and you are talking about his personal war buddy that died earlier this morning.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the fact that he knows that problem.
Kubo, if it's okay, can he shut the door? Like, if while this was happening, just kind of like behind, like, just sort of shut him in with them.
So I'm going to say this guy is in bull raging mode. I'm going to say he does that himself. He closes the door, locks it, and he goes, "You shut your whore mouth." And he's going to dash and try and hit you.
Oh, can I do Hellish Rebuke? Wait a minute.
You can do all sorts of stuff. This guy is in rage mode. He's just going to try and beat you guys unconscious.
Okay, well, I don't have a spell yet, but I pull out my, like, Kopesh or whatever I have, my sword.
Yeah, I don't know. Are we doing I rolls, or how do you want to do this the playing out of this particular incident?
I'm gonna say he is bum rushing you, but he was not. He was very obvious in projecting that. So no surprise rounds, but we are gonna do initiative.
Okay. I got a 14.
Awesome. So you will go first, Kyle, then Kubo, then this guard.
Kyle guard.
You get to go first, Kyle.
Yeah, I know. It's just what he's doing is kind of he's gonna step back, point out a chink in the approaching berserker's armor, I guess, and flip out a it's gonna be a 3 of hearts.
Is that gonna be your turn?
Yeah. After I do the attack roll. Okay, yeah. So Kubo has advantage on their next attack. I assume my attack missed at a total of 7.
Yeah, that would miss.
12, I mean, sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately that would miss. But you zip out a card, it goes wide, hits the wall behind him. Now it is Kubo's turn.
Yeah, it does have advantage on next attack, though.
Awesome.
Sweet. Okay, here I go. So let's see if I can do this. I'm just gonna go.
He's got an army injury on his left ankle.
Okay, I rolled twice because of the advantage, and I got a 26 as my highest to hit.
Definitely hits. Clobber this guy.
Okay, and then I'm gonna hit for the damage. I think I get to hit twice, right? Because of my thing. Okay, hold on. So I did the critical at first. I got a 14, and then I get 14 and then 9. I can do the math for that if I need.
So wait, what do you mean you hit twice?
Well, you're level 5, so you have an extra attack. You gotta make 2 separate attacks, and you have advantage on the first of them.
Yeah, so you need to roll a second attack.
Okay, I had a 21 for the other one, but I can roll again.
Okay, so yeah, I mean the first one you functionally have advantage on. If it hit, it would pass over the second, and then you just like add up the damage.
If we wanted to roll to hit again, I got an 11 and I got a 26.
We'll say you can hit on both, but I think the second one you don't get advantage on.
That's totally fine. Can we still keep the? So hold on, just to make sure I attack twice total in terms of like I rolled for damage twice. That's all.
Yes. Now give me that total.
23.
Oh wow. You almost bring this guy to his knees immediately.
Okay.
Yep.
Can I ask shenanigans if this works for everyone? But if like we went to attack and now he's like bleeding out a bit, if he's weak, can I roll maybe to grapple him or just pin him down? Because I would assume Kyle and definitely Kyle, but to question this guy.
That is going to be an extra action. So you need to
Okay.
do that on your next turn.
Thank you. Okay.
Now it's the guard's turn. He's going to lash out and try and hit Kubo here. He only gets a 7 to hit. So his billy club goes wide. He got a 2 on the die. And he is clearly panicking. He doesn't leave because he can see that you can just bop him on the head. But he is standing, and he doesn't have an additional action. But he is just standing engaged with you guys.
Get him!
Now it's back to Kyle.
Damn. This would normally be an instance where he'd fake some sort of non-lethal attack with the staff or guitar, but because he was impersonating Ariana on his entrance, he wouldn't have them. Yeah. It becomes slightly awkward interpreting his shurikens basically as non-lethal damage, but let's say he's severing non-lethal arteries and bringing them unconscious through insanguination. One fires out, which would
You can do non-lethal. You just aim for his legs.
right. I mean, it's technically capable of that, and damn, 10 to hit.
Yeah, you're rolling pretty bad.
Yep.
You jam a card into the ground in front of him. If you want to roll an intimidation check, you can.
No, but again with the extra, he's cutting off attempted routes of escape. He's less able to dodge, functionally giving Kubo advantage on attacks because the bonus action help thing, hold mastermind deal.
Yeah. So Kubo, all you need to do to restrain him and try and like grab him and restrain him is you just have to attack, hit, and then beat his athletics check.
Okay, so I'm going to attack him. I think I hit at a 24.
For sure.
And then he hit 6 damage, so I think that's that. And then you said athletics?
Yes. He is still technically up, but that's totally fine. Because if you restrain him, he will.
Can I get advantage on athletics in this situation? Because I'm not.
You might not need it. What did you get?
My first one without advantage is a 9.
That's enough to beat him.
Okay, I'll take it.
It's a bar scramble. He only got a 7. It's like a bar style scramble. You just like, like grabbing each other. And you manage to get him into like a full Nelson, like over his head. And he's just kind of struggling in front of Ariana.
Snarling at him. I'm like, Kyle?
Who the hell are you guys?
I'm just gonna walk forward and just use shocking grasp on him and just straight tase him unconscious.
Nice.
You want to bring him unconscious?
Yeah, I Kyle doesn't kill if he can help it.
Yeah. Kubo was about to be like, Kyle, you don't like to kill, sort of the thing, like give him up.
I don't know if it's specifically come up, but yeah, I think
he goes unconscious. He slumps to the ground. And you can tell he's not dead, but he is very unconscious.
I investigate the body with an 18 roll on investigation.
You quickly pad through his body. You can see that same tattoo that he saw before. It looks like he does not have, if he does have a poison pill, he doesn't have it on him. But his clothes are easy to take off if you guys wanted a quick disguise.
Kubo will turn around to give you privacy.
Do you want to use this disguise or have Kyle?
Well, Kubo will say, like, if you don't want to look like Ariana anymore, and then, like, turned around. Like, kind of like, he's just trying to make you feel like, what do you want to do? And, like, I'm not trying to freak you out.
No, he kind of can. Honestly, Kyle, we kind of look down on himself and just
Okay.
looks like.
Perfect. So I am all for not killing sometimes because here's the thing, Kyle. You see, I think everyone's a seeker of truth, and you see, my truth is retribution. And here we have a wonderful chance to bring back a body and to get more information from him and such and so on. And this isn't just about revenge anymore. This is about protection. If, say, this is, they're trying to use Leo to do some sort of a huge terroristic plot and thing, would it make sense that we take him back, interrogate him to know more, to be at least on par with these guys, if not maybe even a step ahead? Okay.
Yes, philosophy exists. Killing bad. I get. What did you say?
Kubo, I'm laughing out of character. I'm laughing. Kubo was all like, my truth is retribution, and like it's a wonderful moment to seek it out.
As this is happening, I just love the full moment of like, this is my creed in the middle of like beating a police guard to half to death.
He's just having the time of his life over here, this boy. And I love the fact that Kyle's like, what in the hell? What is going on?
And it's so funny because this is like your second day on the job with field work.
Yeah. He's just Batman.
Well, no, it's very cute. It's kind of funny. I can imagine Kyle being like, I mean, monologues are usually, kind of accumulating moment, whatever.
I think it's just something. It fit Kubo's character, so I took the moment.
For sure.
It is definitely beautiful. I appreciate.
Truly.
Now you guys are. We'll say this is like 11:30. You guys are getting close to when this fight is going to break out. So if you guys want to disguise yourself in a certain way, now is the time. We zip back down to let me see, Leo downstairs, and the door opens, and you see this blonde guy with the scary gauntlet on his right hand, and he walks up. What spell do you cast at him?
And as he was trying to open this slammed wedge door, the whole time I'm charging up, as you see flashes and hear crackles, I cast Witch Bolt at 3rd level towards him. So that is all I have.
I'm gonna roll a check just to keep me honest, but this guy is a very strong individual.
I only have.
Witch Bolt's a ranged spell attack, so
yes.
It's on him, not you.
So yeah, you got to roll to hit.
Yes. 19 to hit?
You hit his AC. It
Ooh.
connects with him, and I'm gonna let you do damage here, just because I think he's genuinely surprised.
I'm genuinely surprised that hit.
But yeah.
What? I'm adding spell modifier. No, not spell modifier. I'm adding spell modifier, right?
Yes.
The damage, yes. Okay. Just a double check. Okay, yeah. 17 total. Kind of whack.
The plus doesn't happen on spell damage.
Okay, that's why I had a question. Okay, so 15 total damage.
So as you cast the spell, he looks genuinely shocked as it like hits him in the chest, and then he uses a reaction and counter spells. So you aren't able to maintain the spell on him, but I'm going to let you have the damage because that's cool. And he just looks at you like genuinely aghast, and he's like, "For a young child, that is quite the spell, young sir. I think it's time for you to take another nap."
I don't think so.
Double moves on his turn. He connects with you. He's going to roll to hit.
Oh, miss.
That's a 15 to hit.
That is a wow, yeah, that hits.
He does 9, 11, 12 damage.
Oh, I live. Okay.
Okay, yeah, his gauntlet, nasty, sharp claws, just and like jab into your like chest right here, but like scrape across your ribs and don't deal any like serious internal damage. And it looks like he's moving slowly. It looks like he's moving very surgically, and he's doing non-lethal to you. Again, he's surprised that you're up.
Well, is it my turn now? Are we having like a combat
We'll say it's
situation?
your turn, yeah. It's combat, but we're just letting the initiative happen very naturally here.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have. Wait, what?
Yeah, we didn't get that.
Only 2 people, so it's just back and forth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So as I'm gonna continue having Witch Bolt being continuous, as because it is a continuous spell for a minute.
Counterspell it. He used his reaction to counterspell it. So
I forgot.
Yeah, the concentration part.
Yeah. He's so close to me too. Why he's so close? I cast Bane.
That's disadvantage on attacks, right?
Yes, by 1d4.
Minus 1d4 on attacks.
And it's a save, right?
No, it's just a minus 1d4 and like on your attack roll.
To avoid the initial effect of Bane is a wisdom save, isn't it?
Oh, I do not know that.
It might not be. I think you might be right.
Bane.
Yeah, no, it's a cost save.
It's a con save. Okay. So what's your DC?
Charisma. It's a charisma save. My DC is 13.
Wow, he has failed. Yeah, so
you are
he
bait.
A minus 1d4 to all of his attacks. Let's
for
see
1 minute.
Matters.
Attacks, saving throws.
That's only a 9 minus 4, so he only gets 5.
You miss.
Yeah, it looks like he is very unused to being on the back foot, and he might not be so kind on the next hit. You get one more turn here before he starts going all out on you.
Oh, I cast Spirit Guardians then.
Leo.
Creatures within my field take 3d8. This is radiant damage. I don't know if you want to change. Oh no, there's a necro thing here too. Okay, cool. So it takes 3d8 necro damage on fail, but you have to make a wisdom saving throw first.
So he has to make a wisdom saving throw. Man, he's rolling really badly. That's only a 6. And then
okay, so you take the full 3d8.
3d8. Wow.
But wait, I don't know if it's as a start of your turn or right now.
Yeah, Spirit Guardians, I think is
which Spirit Guardians I think is end.
First time. No, first time on the start of their turn. Okay, so not now. But at the start of your turn, you make the wisdom save.
Yeah, he failed. He takes a full 14 damage from this thing. Yeah, he's gonna make 2 attacks on you now, much more recklessly. That's 14, 11. Does 11 hit?
No.
Okay, that's 17, 13. Does 13 hit?
Yes.
Okay. That is 7, 10, 13 damage.
13 damage. No, I'm unconscious.
Okay, he finally gets one nice slash across your chest. You go unconscious. I think Spirit Guardians are also dispelled now.
Yes.
Yeah, anything concentration based would be.
Yeah, he's like, wow, we aren't letting you free anytime soon, ever again. Wow, oh my goodness. He starts to like bundle you up. You're unconscious to like not be able to detect this. But yeah, you go unconscious as you're struggling in the dark with this guy. Now we will go back up to Leo and Kyle.
Kubo.
Excuse me. Yes, Kubo.
There's
and
2
Kyle.
of me.
Yes.
And we'll say you guys have like 5 minutes until the fight breaks out.
Can we say that we've hid the body that we're gonna hopefully pick up on our way out, sort of a thing?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, what is ultimately like the time differential between like the initial assault by uh, whatever the hell his name was, and the prison break that's breaking out like 5 minutes to 12?
What do you mean? Oh, downstairs?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Like,
say that this is
how
happening like
how much earlier did that fight happen in
I'm
our?
gonna say it's breaking out around the time that the fight upstairs is breaking out.
Okay, so like when we go down there, it'll be like around the same time that he's trying to pack Leo up, probably.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment to make. Yeah, I give you no guarantees.
Like our character doesn't know that anyways. I guess just us, but cool, cool.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's more of a just general assumption related to noon and an expectation of general mayhem and what have you.
I died.
It's like the fourth time. Nobody cares anymore. Um,
Feels like I care. Okay, well, I mean, I think Kubo's just ready to go. There's maybe like some blood now on his sky.
any specific weird patterns, but I think uh, the best way to still drive this, especially with you knowing exactly where he is, and me presumably being good enough to track you, we're gonna kick out the other door and have you basically sprint forward to help Kubo and the assault. And I'm gonna attempt to act more or less panicked in the instance of being like covered in blood and an attempted assault. What
Oh, so
have you?
like pretending like I assaulted you, like I'm running away because I assaulted you.
No, the guard did.
Oh, like I'm trying to go get help.
And I'm going to try and draw attention away from you entirely
Okay.
while you go to help Leo.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so do you guys want to time this with the fight breaking out?
Yeah, pretty much. Like within a couple of seconds. I mean, presumably there was a gap between one fight and the second, but hearing the second, expecting the second, even if we don't see a specific actual fight, we know the reaction was coming. So
it's like clockwork. You wait for like 5 minutes till noon, and you hear an alarm go on like as you open the door. And so Kyle, you run toward like the front of the place. It sounds like while Kubo runs deeper in while disguised in a guard outfit. Is that all correct?
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, I still in my apparently convincing Ariana disguise. I run basically like straight towards the guards, begging for assistance with the murderous madman back in the room.
Okay, you run up and he goes, "Whoa, ma'am, you're hysterical. Please calm down. There's a we got." And as you're talking to them, you hear the alarms go off. He's like, "What the hell?" And they start like glancing through like you see like they look over like you see somebody walking up to a lookout tower and looking into the yard where the fight's breaking out. They're like, code 11, code 11. And they're like running around like you see these guards like, "Ma'am, I'm so sorry. We're gonna take care of that in just a little bit. We have an emergency. Please take a seat in the break room here."
Thank you, of course. But I mean, there's a man. He seemed to know what was going on in this room. He assaulted us, and I gestured towards it as I.
We'll make sure you can't get out of the room, ma'am. We will make sure. Okay.
Thank you.
You see they run by. They literally just like lock the conference room as they run by, and they start running into the area. Kubo, I want you to roll me like a survival check here.
Oh boy. Oh no, I got a 3.
Okay, you have your set of keys. You just start opening doors randomly, trying to run deeper into the prison. But it is a very confusing layout. And all you really have to guide yourself is this like magical sense of where Leo is. And you're just dashing down hallways, opening doors, opening doors. You have no way of knowing if you're getting closer or further away from a way down.
Can I make a better roll?
Yeah, we'll make 2 more survival rolls as you're like exploring here.
Okay. Can I do those now or do I need to wait?
You can do them now.
Just wait. Okay. Okay, that one was a 14. And a 11.
Okay, you start to get a better feel for where it's going out. You see that there is a stairwell out in the yard, and it looks like it's like a open thing with like a pagoda over it, and it looks like that's clearly a way down into the next level. And you see Brewer, the guy you were fighting for, he is just brawling, he's just fighting people in the yard. As you're running down hallways, you see that people in their cells are like bashing against the cells, and like here or there are people, prisoners that are like walking around outside their cells, just like bah, bah, bah. Like it is a full, everybody's really getting into it. As you walk by him, you see him kind of give you a salute with like a giant, like his eye is getting swollen shut. And you're able to find those stairs and go down them really quick. Is there anything else you're looking for here?
I don't think so. I think it's just kind of anything that lets me get down there quickly and safely, looking to see if I'm being followed maybe. Should I do maybe like a perception?
Yeah, do a quick perception
Okay.
there, and then we'll cut back to Kyle as you get to the
I
second.
got a 19 perception.
It is chaos.
Okay.
It is absolute chaos. No one would be able to follow you at all. You see some guards trying to like maintain order, but they're way outnumbered. There's no way anyone could even feasibly track you at all, even when you were lost in the beginning. As you get down to the second floor, you see that there are hellhounds. There is a series of hellhound guard dogs that are in cages, and you see guards basically waiting for the signal to release these hellhounds.
Okay.
Back up to Kyle, you're in the break room. There's only one guard that's basically just like tapping out messages to go back to like kind of home base, kind of like the police center of the city. And they're like, help, breakout, need more assistance. You can tell Morse code very easily.
I assume I immediately recognize whether they're anything like tapping out on their leg or an actual transceiver. I immediately recognize Morse code and just throw one of my cards straight up through the wire transmitting the telegraph signal.
Are you trying to keep that secretive, or do you clearly just like block off the message?
Oh, secretive from him?
Yeah.
No, I'm not being blunt about it.
Roll this with advantage. This is a very low AC. I just got to make you roll for it. There we go. Just the card clearly snaps the wire that's like on the wall. The guy looks up, sees the card and the wire go limp, and looks over to you in this like angry shock and confusion, and is like still processing what you've done and what it means. I'm going to say you can have a surprise round on this guy. He was focusing on something else.
I'd probably just like walk forward and basically just shove my hand into his face, channeling as much electricity as I could for shocking touch purposes, attempting to just
go for it. It's attack to hit, right?
Down non-lethally, I guess.
He's in the startled state or the surprise state, which I think means gives you advantage.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit.
I'll look that up.
320. Technically it does, but it's just weird with how it comes to spells. All right. 15 for the hit. 3, 21 for AC.
Was that 21?
Yeah, it'd be 21 against AC.
You totally hit.
Woo.
And
What'd you get for damage?
it'd be 2d6 to 3d6, depending on if I was touching him directly, which makes it weird.
We'll say you're touching him
I'm
directly.
gonna do. All right. 13.
Yeah, so this guy is not an ex-military guard. This guy is just a guard, basically just a civilian. He goes down hard. He just fully unconscious as you shock him. You're alone in the kind of the guard barracks. Okay, we're gonna move on from there. Leo, in your dream, you just see a lot of demonic stuff. You are asleep, you are unconscious, you just see a lot of hell, a lot of really spooky stuff.
Man.
Yep. You can do whatever you'd like with that information. You see a lot of hell. Now we're gonna go back to Kubo here.
Love this. Love this for all of us. Okay. I mean, I'm still going. Do I need to make some more survival rolls, or what would it be?
Yeah, we'll have you roll another survival roll here.
Ooh. 12.
You run down here, you get the feeling that the next level, you can clearly see like the stairwell. It's actually in the main building again. You can see another stairwell past like all of the Hellhound areas, but they haven't released the Hellhounds yet, but it's clear that they're waiting on the order to do so. And none of them are even processing that you might be not supposed to be there, anything like that. But it's very clear that getting out of the prison will be a much more complicated situation within the next like 15 minutes.
Okay. With that in mind, I'm going to like try just to keep going down. Like,
you are trucking straight ahead. I'm going to roll some perception checks, insight checks by people. I'm going to do these with disadvantage as well, just to be fair. Yeah, you don't even feel people looking at you. You just walk through. You are like a bit of static and a static view of the vision. You know what I mean? Like you are very easy to just get through. You get to the next stairwell and you start to go down. Just so it's clear, like the yard is like the central thing that goes down, and the second level is just one large room. That's where they house all the canine units, and they clearly have some like, you know, isolation areas here that are horrible and bad. But as you enter the bottom level, this is clearly like you can smell formaldehyde and these really harsh chemicals. It's clear this is like where they keep dead bodies and where they execute people. And you enter the third floor down here. And it's like down the hall, there are a couple holding cells on the side where clearly they keep the people that are about to be executed that night. But you can see cleared out and you see the glass windows or the mirrored wall with the execution chair in it.
Okay. And I'm gonna hope that as I'm getting closer, can I just kind of see or tell from maybe some commotion, just like some of Leo's handiwork before he passed out?
It's all actually on the other side of this mirrored door, so I don't think you can. I think you would know pretty much immediately that, like, oh, it's a one-way mirror. I mean, like, you just know enough about, and you can sense that he's on the opposite side of this mirror with your sense spell from your father.
I will roll a 17 perception check. I, the person, know that there's somebody else in this room. Kubo doesn't know that, but I just want to roll to see if he picks up on anything before he goes in guns blazing, so to speak.
What was that roll again?
I got a 17.
A 17. You can tell that there's a secret passage somewhere in this room. You aren't able to isolate it right off the bat. It would take some searching. But with a 17 perception, you know that something's on the other end of this glass wall or this mirrored wall, and this is not impermeable. You could break down this mirrored wall.
Okay. What's fastest? Should I roll to figure that out, or would it be faster to like kind of?
Perception.
Yeah, another.
Looking out for this secret passageway could be 5 minutes, could be 20. Breaking down this window is like 2 rounds.
2 hours, 2 rounds.
2 rounds.
Okay, cool. Let's do that. Yeah, we're kind of in too deep now to like in times of the essence. So I guess using my sword again. Oh, I should start channeling divinity actually, just because I want power. I'm gonna use it for sacred weapon, so that whenever well, maybe I shouldn't use it yet. No, we're gonna do it. We might as well. So for a minute, my weapon, whenever I hit with this, I get to add +2 to my attack rolls.
Awesome.
Sweet. Okay, let's do it.
Your sword glows with this black ooze. Yeah, you're ready to smack it out. You don't need to roll to hit, you just need to roll damage dice. You can roll twice as many as you normally would, as well as if you're going to do a smite, you can roll more.
Okay. So
I actually need to run and use the restroom. I'm going to pause the recording and be right back. Sorry.
no problem. That's fine. I don't know what's going on right now, actually, I'm gonna be honest with you. But yeah, that's fine. Kubo is just here trying to save the day, sort of a thing. So
I just need you to live.
well, he cares about Leo, because Leo was under his protection and he failed. So.
Yeah, and Kyle definitely does too.
Well,
I'm not saying Kyle doesn't, but I don't know if.
But if it's a choice between Leo dying and half the city being exploded as some sort of false flag operation, I don't know. He's a little paranoid. He's seen the worst case scenarios.
Kyle will make his decisions. And Kubo will make his.
Yeah.
Also, I rolled 30. Well, I got 31 for damage for that first round on the wall.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna say very easily. You slide your sword into the glass and like create like a solid incision, and then whoosh, slash up, and it just explodes towards you as you pull out. I'm not gonna make you take any damage, but yeah, you clearly make an obvious large hole in this mirrored wall, just intuiting that it's a foe. And as you pull it open, you see a kind of shocked blonde man that's already clearly very wounded over a very tied up Leo. And he kind of like holds his hand up to like the sheer glare as the window breaks free.
What spells do I have going on here? Okay. Sounds good. I think even before this guy can act, Kubo's gonna try to rush him.
Yeah, I think you can totally rush him here. I did check, you don't get advantage for surprise rounds, but that's totally fine. You, yeah, this is.
Are we able to act before him though? Potentially, I mean,
You do get a surprise round.
I can still. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I can potentially throw out my.
You're not with me.
You're a million miles away.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, you're upstairs in the break room. But yeah, you will get a surprise round on this person. Feel free to roll that here. Roll that attack, assuming it's an attack.
Okay. I mean, I will say, will you let me know if I get too close? I mean, hopefully I get close to killing this guy, but we'll just see what happens. I don't want to necessarily maybe kill him yet, but so my first attack roll is a 25 to hit.
That'll hit.
Cool. I'm gonna make 2 attacks at him. I got an 8 and an 11, so 19 points of damage. And I am still. Oh wait, I forgot to add. Okay, I get to add +2, so that's really a 10 plus a 13, so 23 points of damage because of my sacred weapon I got going on.
Okay, he looks very messed up.
And then if it helps before it ends, I'm gonna be like, I don't know who you are, but I think you have the answers I'm looking for.
He is seriously messed up. He clearly has magical and physical damage. You cut into him, like hack down on his shoulder, and he looks up at you terrified as you say that. He says, I've got no information for you.
Does he have a pill? We'll find out. Okay. Are we cutting away? Are we keeping going?
You have 2 attacks, is that right?
Yeah, oh, I can attack still?
Yeah, that was an attack. You get a full round.
Okay, I just, woo, wow, woo. All right, well, let's just try to attack him again. Might as well. I mean, okay, so I got a 20 to hit.
He cannot, he is in the surprise condition, so he cannot shield, so that hits.
Oh my gosh, goodness. Okay, I'm gonna roll 2 times. Let's see, that's a 12 damage and that's an 8 damage, so 20 more points of damage.
Finish him.
Okay, wait, I don't want to kill him though. Is it okay if we say that I knock?
Non-lethal.
Yeah.
If you do it, yeah, especially if melee.
Do you mind if yeah, you kick him over and you just bash him with the hilt of your sword. Is that fair?
Yeah, can I also, because Kubo got to talk a bit more this session and he was being all funny, but I do want to say, maybe as this guy's like fading out to black, I mean, Kubo's just like, I am a seeker of truth, and I think that you have the truth I've been looking for, and I love it.
As he's going down, he's just like, poetry ass, what the hell? He like fades to black.
Perfect.
Yeah, and you see a tied up and totally unconscious Leopold on the ground in front of you. There are guards around, and you can see them like approaching. There's like 3 of them that are quickly approaching on your location. Most of them look terrified that the glass was one way. They had no idea. Yeah, you're not alone. This is not the end of this escapade here.
Let's think here. Do you think I could try to roll deception or something and lie and be like, oh no, I don't know what happened. You guys better go get help and I'll stay.
Yes, with so much disadvantage.
Yeah, okay. I don't know what to do otherwise because let's think about this. Kyle hasn't started tracking me yet, I'm assuming. Are these guards like, do I need to roll perception or do they look like they're tough ex-military or
They
Well,
look
all right.
Mhm. Sorry, what?
I not interfering with that, but I mean, from what you knew of Kyle and whatever preliminary plans he had put in place, you would assume he would try and do something that would distract them in the sense of being like, oh, hey, something bad was happening over here, please come help. And
right, but that was upstairs, I'm downstairs.
Yeah, but I mean,
are you trying to make like a speakerphone announcement?
You're there.
Deception, and then Kyle, I want you to make a deception roll as well. So 2 deception rolls from both of you.
Oh no, this could either go really good. We'll see what happens. Oh my gosh, I am a god. 23 deception check.
Wow.
Maybe it doesn't even have to be perfect, but if it's enough to at least save us.
What?
19, 10 plus 9.
I'm gonna say, because those are both really good rolls, you you see, instead of 3 guards coming toward the shattered window, 2 of them are running down the hall and going up the stairs to try and assist with the breakout, because they were told to go assist with the breakout and that it was urgent, and so they weren't even there to see the window break. One
Okay.
did, and he turns around and starts approaching the window, and he I'm just gonna roll a luck check here. He got a nat 1,
Oh, good for
which
us.
would normally, well, let me see.
I,
What you do not know at this point how much he has seen or has not seen of you bashing this guy unconscious. He approaches the glass and
Wait, is he approaching Kubo or
Kubo.
he's approaching Kubo and them. And he goes, "What the hell is happening in here? Is that Sebastian?"
No, perfect. And Kubo's just gonna immediately, with that deception, will be like, "Yeah, I don't know. I just got in here. I guess something happened in here. I'm gonna help him and this guy. You go upstairs and help. I'll be right behind you."
He goes, "Shit, gah," and he runs away. You can
Nice.
tell that this guy was one of the guys that captured Leopold. So it looks like his initial response is to secure the perimeter to make sure that nobody can go in or out, because he wants to maintain Leopold in this area.
Okay, so that's good to know. I'm assuming now I need Leo to wake up. So can I roll a survival check on him before we cut back to Kyle? Maybe just to see if I can wake him up. Because if Leo's awake, we can carry Sebastian out unconscious.
Yeah.
Or if we have to leave him, I can like investigate his body and then carry Leo.
Yeah. Roll a medicine check on Leo. See if you can wake him up.
I got a 20.
The medicine a nat 20 or just a dirty 20?
Oh, sorry, I got 19 plus 1. So
Okay.
30.
If you had any sort of healing, you could wake him up and he'd be conscious enough to move. This guy has gone up and down a couple times. He's approaching like 1 or 2 levels of exhaustion.
I'm so
Like,
sorry. Okay. In that case, I'm going to try to roll investigation, and I only got an 11 for Sebastian's body, but I think in this case, I'm going to have to leave him, and I'm going to have to take Leo with me.
with a quick roll on Sebastian, you got the drop on this guy, and he had already gotten the drop on him. You can tell he's got the marks of a real professional. His gauntlet is terrifying. It is, like he was very much in the mode of, I've got these people right where I want me. He was not at his best, and this was a very lucky hit that you got on this guy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm also gonna say, with his glamour gone because he's unconscious, this is clearly a dwarf.
Interesting. Okay, I'm going to file all that. I'm going to take anything I can, put it in my pockets, and then I can roll athletics, but I'm going to carry Leo.
Okay. You start to carry Leo out. You don't find much on his person. It looks like he's pretty scrubbed clean. You just find some cash and notes, and you can just grab those, maybe investigate them later. But yeah, you grab Leopold and start to leave. We're going to cut away from there because we're at time here, and I really like, this is going to be kind of our final combat boss session for this arc, this little section of the arc. But we're going to cut up to Kyle and see what's going on with him right before we end. And then we're going to have one last little scene with Leopold. So Kyle, you are up in the guard room area, and you start to hear gunshots. And assuming they're rubber bullets, that's fine. But you can tell that the police force, the guard force here, is becoming more and more effective at curbing the rebellion here. And so your timer is running out. It looks like you're going to have to get Kubo and Leo out from wherever they are downstairs. And I'm sure there's like a million things going through your head at this moment. What is your thoughts here?
I guess first off, what is my presumed time gap between what I'm, potentially able to argue as like, oh, please leave me alone. I'm Ariana, Kaibo, whatever. And
you've got maybe 10 minutes before somebody comes in and sees the unconscious guard. If you were to stay here. In terms of the overall like prison riot, you maybe have like 20 minutes. So I'm going to say that this guard room, this kind of guard break room, has an outward facing window. And as you're looking out the outward facing window here, you see 3 black cars pull up in front of the prison. And these are not police cars.
Do I recognize anything else about them?
No, and that is terrifying. They have no identification on them. They have no like clear indications. They are very stock built vehicles, and they do not seem to have any identifying marks on them.
Okay.
So I'm kind of tying this in a bow. So this is just more information for you to take. I'm going to take notes on all this stuff so that we can lead right into the next session.
Yeah.
Leo, as you're unconscious, sleeping tumultuously, and you're in this like trippy hell space where you're just seeing all of this stuff, you see this flock of crows approach you and just and you feel their beaks and their feathers and their talons just like marking up your soul as they're bashing by you. And you just hear this like whispering, like, as a contract is made, so too is a contract paid. And see this kind of like poetry being spoken at you. And you get the feeling that you are forcing these spirits to come to the material plane. And there is no cost to do that in this life. But there will be costs to pay later on to fulfill those contracts that you're making each time you pull up spirits.
Oh, great.
And you sense a much larger, darker entity looking on with interest. And we will end our session there for today.